Today, with the help of this particular video, I'll put up my views about this debatable topic of secondary IOL implantation when you don't have any capsular support. So, now this is one engineering principle which has been practiced by US Navy since 1960s, and here we'll see the utility of this principle in medical science and the surgical implications. So this principle is known as KISS, K-I-S-S, and it means keep it simple and stupid. So a design principle which has been noted by the US Navy in 1960, KISS principle states that most systems will work best and flawlessly without mistakes if they are kept simple rather than made complicated. Thus, simplicity should be a key goal in the design and the unnecessary complexity should be avoided. So here we have one case which presented to us with aphakia. Probably the surgeon did a cataract surgery. The crystalline lens was removed, but with that there was absolute lack of capsular support. So the IOL was not implanted and rather the patient was referred. So now here we have a patient where there is no capsular support. Adequate anterior vitrectomy has been done, so there is no vitreous prolapse through the anterior chamber, and the patient requires an IOL implantation. Now there are few choices here. One of them can be angle fixated, other can be iris fixated, either anterior to the iris or posterior surface of the iris, and then there can be scleral fixated IOLs which range from glued IOL to no glue IOL, that is the haptics are tucked into the tunnel, and those IOLs which are held in place by using sutures. So this is the fundus of the patient which looks hypermetropic, and indeed the patient was highly hypermetropic. You'll see that this is the other eye is also hypermetropic and there's media haze because of cataract. And the surgery which I decided and which I practice is implantation of a Kelman design anterior chamber IOL, which is basically an high angle supported IOL. So first of all, neutralizing the mydriasis by injection pilocarpine, and then forming the anterior chamber and retaining the viscoelastic there. So anterior chamber has been formed here, and now enlarging this incision a little bit so as to accommodate the anterior chamber IOL. Now I have made a clear corneal incision for a reason, because this patient also had a corneal astigmatism of 3.5 diopters. So it might have been because of a pre-existing issue or may have been surgically induced, but in that scenario I wanted this large clear corneal incision to help in neutralize the corneal astigmatism. So an IOL has been simply injected into the anterior chamber, and the procedure, the beauty of this procedure is that it is plain simple, and as I've told you, according to the KISS principle, it is simple and very stupidly simple, but it works. Now placing an anterior chamber IOL is never a hazardous surgery, because it has been proved by several studies that the rate of complications is as similar as other methods of IOL implantation, and this is the patient's anterior segment photographs as seen at day 1 and at day 30, and we can appreciate the corneal clarity, the IOL centration, and this patient, in spite of all our efforts, still had a persistent of 3 diopters of corneal astigmatism. This eye was highly hypermetropic, so I had to look for an IOL of 30 diopter, which I couldn't get for an ACIOL, and we had to implant a 28 diopters of IOL, which left behind a hypermetropia of 3 diopters. So final refraction of this patient was 3 diopters of hypermetropia with 3 diopters of corneal astigmatism. So this is my presentation and take on implantation and choice of IOL when there is no capsular support. Thank you.